Welcome to Airborne Flight Training. Coming up on this week's episode, FAA rejects airline's request to reduce ATP flight time requirement. Top Aces Corp wins Aggressor contract. Applications open for $20,000 RACCA UPS scholarships. And I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. FAA rejects airline's request to reduce ATP flight time requirement. The FAA has denied Republic Airways' request to halve the flight time requirements for graduates of its Leadership in Flight Training Academy, a Part 141 flight school operated by the Indianapolis-based air carrier. Eligibility for ATP certification, the highest level of pilot certification granted by the FAA, is predicated upon myriad factors, including an applicant's having logged a minimum of 1,500 flight hours. All Part 121 and most Part 135 air carriers require their pilots to hold ATP certification. For purpose of expediting pilot hiring, Republic Airways has repeatedly argued in favor of the FAA's reducing airman flight hour minimums. Citing military training orthodoxy and flight time requirements, the air carrier has prevailed upon the agency to lower the flight experience requirement of Lift Academy graduates to 750 cockpit hours, the mark at which U.S. military branches consider their pilots sufficiently skilled to be turned loose in taxpayer-owned aircraft. Republic, by inference, purports the flight training provided by its Lift Academy is the equal of military training. In its decision, the FAA asserted, quote, "After full consideration of Republic's petition for exemption in the public comments, the FAA has determined that the relief requested is not in the public interest and would adversely affect safety," end quote. And after the break, Chattahoochee Tech Aviation Academy breaks ground.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some other interesting stories. Chattahoochee Tech Aviation Academy breaks ground. Chattahoochee Technical College has held the ceremonial groundbreaking for a new aviation maintenance academy in Paulding County. The academy, which is slated to begin classes in 2024, will train aircraft maintenance and service technicians. Airframe and power plant mechanics are in critically short supply in the wake of legislative overreach prompted by the COVID pandemic. The resultant paucity of qualified maintenance personnel has occasioned acute need for training programs such as those to be imminently offered at Chattahoochee Tech's new Aviation Maintenance Academy. Annual Space Day back at the EAA Aviation Museum. The EAA's Annual Space Day returns to Oshkosh, coming back on October 8th. Space Day marks the EAA's participation in World Space Week, with activities showing off some of the highlights of the space industry's past while helping kids build interest in its future. The museum will have a distinguished guest to put a capstone on the festivities. Eileen Collins, the first female shuttle pilot and commander, will be speaking to the gathered youth to help them follow her footsteps. EAA Chapter 534 to host Leesburg International Airport event. On October 1st, 2022, EAA's Chapter 534 will host a fly-in, drive-in pancake breakfast at their hangar in the Leesburg International Airport in Leesburg, Florida. In addition to serving a menu of blueberry or plain pancakes, sausage patties, and coffee or juice, the 9 o'clock to 11:30 EDT event will afford attendees opportunity to visit the chapter's hangar, meet its members, and learn about the Squadron 534 youth group. Regional Airline Association issues statement on Republic Airways petition. The RAA has weighed in on the FAA's decision to deny Republic Airways' attempt to lessen the experience requirement for those pilots graduating from their LIFT Flight Academy. The Regional Airline Association was understandably crestfallen at the refusal. Were the exemption granted, it might have opened a new path to cultivating sorely needed first officers right as the pilot shortage looms closer. Quote, "We are still reviewing the FAA's decision," end quote, said Faye Malarkey-Black, CEO of the RAA. And that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Top Aces Corp wins Aggressor contract. Top Aces Corp has announced its selection for the U.S. Air Force Combat Air Force Contracted Air Support Program to provide advanced adversary air training to pilots at Eglin AFB in Florida and Luke AFB in Arizona. Top Aces was a shoo-in for the deal, a 5-year contract worth up to $175 million due to their status as the sole operator of a commercial F-16 fleet in the USA. Their services will begin training the USAF's F-35A and F-22 fleets before October 1st. The deal will help strengthen the Top Aces brand as the premier aggressor operator, the only option around that can provide realistic, effective force-on-force training with a modicum of technical parity to fifth-generation fighters. Their F-16 AAF is a particularly upgraded variant of the venerable bird, which adds the advanced aggressor fighter suite of modifications. The end result is a 4th-gen fighter that can hang with aircraft 30-plus years its junior. Top Aces only recently overhauled their F-16As to aggressor spec. The F-16 AAF now includes a raft of improvements like unique open system architecture capabilities, an advanced electronically scanned array radar, helmet-mounted cueing systems, infrared search and track capability, passive radio frequency detection, tactical data links, and high off-bore sight missile capabilities. And after these messages, applications open for $20,000 RACCA UPS scholarships.
If it looks good, it usually flies good. The Bristol series of aircraft is proof of that. Furthering their legacy of safety and efficiency, Bristol is proud to feature the Rotax 915 IS Turbo in the current lineup of aircraft. The 915 IS Turbo power plant offers more power than ever before in a light sport aircraft. Learn more about Bristol at www.sportflyingusa.com.
Throughout the globe, Piper Aircraft has hand-selected the very best in company representation, service, and support. From first inquiry to acquisition to product support, Piper Aircraft ownership is seamless and worry-free. Piper Aircraft authorized dealers, factory trained, factory connected.
Aviation Safety Resources is disrupting the market for aircraft emergency parachute recovery systems. ASR systems are smaller, lighter weight, and offer longer repack cycles than similar products available in the current market. ASR has a recovery system available for every type of aircraft: sport, experimental, light sport, general aviation, urban air mobility, vertical takeoff and landing, electric propulsion, and unmanned aerial systems. Find the right product for your aircraft at aviationsafetyresources.com.
Welcome back. Applications open for $20,000 RACCA UPS scholarships. Applications sponsored by the Regional Air Cargo Carriers Association are being accepted for those interested in becoming a pilot, AMT, or airline manager. The $20,000 in funding is handed out by the RACCA and UPS Flight Path to help rejuvenate the industry with fresh, aspiring talent, particularly in the current economic climate. It's no secret that many would-be professionals end up left on the table for lack of funding, unable to finish their certification or ratings to take their career to the next step. The RACCA's $2,500 aviation scholarships were established to assist interested students in joining the industry, maybe even ending up at one of the 50-plus air cargo carriers of the group. The association includes the FedEx, DHL, and UPS networks, making them a good way to break into the industry for a young professional. RACCA grants 4 of the $2,500 scholarships, which cover tuition, flight training, or new or additional licensure. The organization grants them each November. A separate RACCA program is the UPS Flight Path Scholarship, which awards the same amount in a similar method to another quadruplet of students. In order to qualify, students must be a U.S. resident currently enrolled in a college's accredited aviation program with a GPA of at least 3.0. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.